Well, investors were hoping that the White House's first ever crypto summit would spark a move to the upside for cryptocurrencies, but that has not been the case. In fact, Bitcoin falling below 80,000 today for the first time since November. Yahoo Finance's Jennifer Schonberger caught up with Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, who was optimistic after Trump's crypto summit.
President Trump really breathed life back into this industry. Over the last few years, we really felt like we were being unlawfully attacked by the prior administration. And under another fork of history, this industry might not have existed in the United States.
But despite the positive sentiment, crypto is continuing to fall here. For more, we're now going to bring in another attendee who was at that crypto summit, JP Richardson, co-founder and CEO of Exodus. JP, it is good to see you. So Bitcoin hitting the lowest level here since November. JP, what do we chalk this up to? Is this just broad macro concerns? Folks are worried about Trump tariffs and government firings sinking the U.S. economy, and investors have decided, you know what, get me out of risk assets.
Thanks for having me here. And you just nailed it right there. It's the macroeconomy right now. I think this is very temporary. And we have the best setup for a bull market in crypto to come. Now we have a pro Bitcoin administration. We have a Bitcoin National Reserve in place. So I think this is just the beginning. But yeah, it's the macro conditions that are freaking everybody out right now.
And so if it's just the beginning, how long is this going to go on, JP?
Well, hopefully it doesn't take more than a couple months or so. But we'll have to see what happens here.
But JP, what would sort of reverse it? Would the trade clouds have to disappear? Would that do it?
Yeah, I think that's really what's going to have to happen is that absolutely you're going to see some of the tariffs and then the deals being made here for a lot of things to change. But in time, again, with the Bitcoin National Reserve in place, a pro-Bitcoin administration, you have an administration that's talking about how to maintain the dollar status, we have to embrace stable coins. This is all unprecedented before. And so I think it's just a matter of time for that excitement to return.
Well, you have all that excitement, JP, and yet Bitcoin is down 25% from its highs, at least 25%. It's probably more at this point of the day, now that we're near the lows. So, it seems like you have the vibe shift that is firmly in place in the White House, and yet that vibe shift has not come to prices. So what is going to be, if all of this hasn't done it, what's the thing that's going to do it?
Like I said, I think it's just going to take time. It's going to take time so first of all, right now, again, because of what the administration in America has done, that other countries are looking at Bitcoin as a national strategic asset to put on their own balance sheet. You're going to see other companies do the same thing. Here at Exodus, we have over 2,000 Bitcoin on our balance sheet. And so you're going to see other companies come along and do that exact same thing. And so it's just going to take some time, and that's okay. Those of us that are in the industry remain hyper bullish. I was just tweeting today that I'm out there. I'm trying to buy as much Bitcoin as I can right now.
JP, so Trump did make good on a promise, right? He did authorize that new strategic Bitcoin reserve. The open question, I think, which everyone's trying to get their heads around is, do you think the U.S. government takes it a step further and starts buying Bitcoin, JP? And can they do that in a way that, under a budget neutral manner?
Yeah, I think they absolutely can. I think just creating the reserve was the beginning, right? Promises made, promises kept. And so, yes, absolutely. Then I think eventually they can start buying. And again, I'm really happy to see that it was done in a budget neutral way. So this way, the American taxpayer does not have to bear the burden of the cost. And so you could see something as simple as, maybe the gold that's in Fort Knox, right? That's marked at $40 an ounce. That hasn't had a repricing since the early 70s. You can imagine a world where they take, say, 5% of the gold in Fort Knox and buy Bitcoin. And so there's other strategies that I think that can be employed to acquire more Bitcoin, but it remains to be seen what the administration will actually do yet.
JP, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.